Welcome to the No Name Brand Podcast. My name is Sashka Hanarapal, actress, singer, dancer, turned brand marketing, sales, and advertising strategist who brands your soul. And each week I bring you an inspiring person or message to help you discover your undergod, turn up your leadership notches, challenge the status quo, because you're fast and furious with a powerful message to share with the world. Thank you for taking time out with me today, and without further ado, let's get our creative and wisdom juices flowing. Thank you so much for being with me here today. Now, no matter where you are, what you're doing, being it working out, driving in the car, or zoning out from the kids, I totally appreciate you being here with me. Joining me today is a real live Firewalk instructor and sweat lodge keeper. Now, you might be asking, what the heck? Yep, that's what I first thought when I heard of Lottie Moore, our guest for today. Now, Lottie is the founder and chief change maker at Mindset Metaphors and a multi-award winning speaker, trainer, and coach. She's a certified Firewalk instructor and sweat lodge keeper. And she is passionate about empowering people with exciting breakthrough activities, events, and retreats, all leading to mindset, ready for success. So without further ado, let's all welcome Lottie! Welcome, Lottie!
Hi, Sashka. Hi.
How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. It's really lovely to be here with you.
Oh, it's nice to have you too. Thank you so much. I'm really excited about this because I love the topic. So it's great to have you here. So I'm going to dive right in, my lovely. Now, why the heck is it more effective to help people out of their comfort zones to create exceptional results by walking on fire or sweating in a lodge? Like, what is the point of that? Is there an adrenaline rush that kicks in and gives you a boost, or you push to your limit? Tell me.
It's a little bit of several different things, Sashka, to be honest. Number one, it's a very strong metaphor for stepping through your fear. You know, firewalking, literally taking that first step, putting your foot on those hot coals that are hot enough to melt a car engine block, quite literally. It's really facing your fear and going right through it, smashing through those barriers. So great for people that are looking to live life outside of the comfort zone or really push themselves, because then they can use that to form an anchor to help them in other areas of their lives. You know, if you can walk a firebed, what else can't you do, really? Firewalking is also great for assisting people to connect with their own intuition. It's always up to every individual whether they walk a fire. I always say the bravest person at a firewalk is the person that chooses not to walk. So it's your intuition. You're listening to your intuition. The same with me, even now when I walk fire, every time I have to listen to my intuition. Is it the right time? Is it the right day for me to do this? It helps you to really connect with that, to overcome the fears and the brain noise and everything else, to go, is that what I want to do? And for my own events, I work in a very spiritual way, and that's where the sweat lodges come in as well, very much. And that's really connected with emotional healing, connecting with Mother Earth, connecting with our own personal power very internally, and really releasing those things that are holding us back, releasing those behaviors that we know don't serve us. So in the sweat lodge, you know, for instance, we do things like a primal scream where we're really, we let it all out. It's such a healthy thing to do, and it just lightens the load.
I often wonder, I know for myself, if I've done something like with a huge adrenaline rush, or I'm driving really fast, or jumping off a cliff into water or something, you're on such a high.
Yeah.
Where do you go after that?
Well, that's part of my job as well, to follow up and to make sure people are okay afterwards. You know, very much what I do with my events is built on building tribe as well. It's not just about people coming along for that 2-hour whoop whoop experience. It's a long-term journey, and you know, I have ways of following up, keeping up with people to make sure that they're utilizing what they've learned, the resources they've built inside themselves. You know, it's about building resilience and carrying that on through.
Yeah, because that's quite an important thing, because I don't know if it's just something that we've been taught or conditioned in, but we often don't carry through with something. We'll start something and we'll never finish for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Myself included, I'll start something and I'm like, is it because I don't know? I don't have the tenacity to pull through? Is there not enough adrenaline? Is it not exciting enough? Is it not spontaneous enough? And that kind of support and security, that kind of support is much needed to pull you through.
I think it's really needed. But again, not everything is the right thing. So there are some things that we won't follow through on because they need to be part. I'm sure, like me as a businesswoman running your own business, everything else, you're full of good ideas, right? Oh, I'm going to try this. Oh, why didn't I think of that? But then on the back of that, you kind of come away and think, nah, the energy doesn't feel right. So again, that's about trusting your intuition and following through the things that matter, the things that are important. And that's not just support I can give, that anybody can do that by building their own tribe of supporters, followers, friends that will really give them that encouragement that they need. I've just done a 75-mile trek around the whole of the outside of the Isle of Wight in 4 days. So 2 days were marathon distance. By day 4, my legs were like, oh, it was really hard. But those encouraging little messages that were pinging through on Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp, go, come on, Lottie, woo! They're what pulled me through, totally. And we all need people in our lives that can do that for us.
That's so true. So for firewalking, now I was just thinking about this. If you're a fire element, does this have a similar impact when you're doing firewalking or the sweat lodge? When you're a different element, water, air, or earth, are the experiences similar?
Yeah, because all the elements are important, right? We can't just say, oh, this is what I am. We have to find ways in our life to bring those other elements in, to connect with those. So to me, that connection with Mother Earth is very important. Although I'm fire, in the sweat lodge, we don't wear clothes. We just put a towel around ourselves to go in. So you're sitting on the earth, you're connected. I've done sweat lodges in the snow where the wind's been howling. We all need those connections in our lives. And so it's ways of assisting us to connect with all the elements and all directions. Yeah,
that's great, because that's probably what keeps us whole as well, because we often forget. I speak about this quite often, is that even if we're going through the shadow parts, it's not a bad thing. It's always a good thing. It's just important to remember that you're the light and to find that light within you, and you can still push through the shadow, but not to push the one way and go, oh, I shouldn't be negative. I can only be positive, or I can only love and not hate. That's a bad thing. That you're doing all of that together. And the same with the elements, bringing them all together to experience the whole experience and not just one part.
Yeah. And sometimes it surprises you because you get what you need from the experiences. With firewalking, one of the things we always say is the fire is the teacher. I can stand up the front or, out in the woods in front of people, give them a talk about how to walk fire safely, speak to them about how they can use that in the rest of their lives going forward. They won't remember half of what I say, but they will always remember their feet on that fire. Fire is the teacher.
What's that saying? They won't remember you for what you do or whatever, but they remember how you make them feel.
Yeah. Yeah. But in my role, it's I just provide the fire. I provide that, and then they take from that what they choose.
That's amazing. For the listeners, post a photo as well. When you see Lottie, she's not someone that you typically expect to be a firewalk instructor. Like normally when you think of firewalk, well, in my mind, the perception is someone like, huge, like Tony Robbins or something like that. And Lottie's, in comparison, smaller, but she's got so much fire inside of her. That's really, really cool. I love that perception. I love things like that where you think something is like something and then you get proven wrong. It's like, no, not like this one.
For firewalking, we talk about energy a lot, and we call the energy of fire the noom of the fire, the noom of the fire. And to firewalk successfully, all you need to do is take your own energy above that noom. So your energy has to match the energy of the fire. And okay, I'm 5'2" and I weigh just under 8 stone, but I know how to take my energy up, and I know how to support and encourage others to do the same. That's what's important.
I love that. Just the melt. I love the word. Just the melt between the human and nature. And bringing it in together as one. Oh, I love that. Okay, I have to do firewalking now. Now I'm excited.
You do.
So why do you feel people like to live in their comfort zones? What's so comfortable there? What makes firewalking or sweat lodging so attractive that you'd want to leave that place of comfort?
Well, I think a lot of people don't like life in the comfort zone, actually. I think it's a frustrating place to be. And so there will be some people, yes, of course, they just want to go to work 9 to 5, come home, sit in front of EastEnders or the soap operas and go through life like that. But there's a lot of people that, for one reason or another, have got to a point where they're thinking, there's got to be more to this. There's got to be more out there or more on offer. And I think that things like firewalking, we also do things like glass walking, arrow snapping with the throat, wooden board breaking, all these activities really help to open people's eyes to think, oh, wow, okay, if this is possible, what else is out there? What more can I achieve? It's always good for people to go, I'm going to stretch my boundaries and a little bit more and a little bit more.
That's amazing because you mentioned in the beginning how firewalking and the sweat lodge pushes you to the limits. I always thought becoming a mother pushed me to my limits, but at the same time, I got comfortable in being a mom. Yeah. And then I didn't get so pushed to my limits anymore because it was really just the beginning of boundaries that were never there before that I had to set. And then for my character, I like to be pushed a little bit and challenged. Yeah. So something like this, it's kind of scary. And at the same time, I'm like, it's not skydiving because I still want to do skydiving, but I told my kids when I'm older and they've been married and I've seen my grandkids, and if something happened, then it's not a big loss kind of thing. Yeah. But firewalking is still something kind of living on the edge, but not destroying or not giving up my life or anything. It's actually enriching. Not that skydiving wouldn't, but yeah.
Because when you form relationship with the fire as well, it's about celebration. It's a very, very different experience to go into that relationship with the fire. It's something that I would say you should do again. You should do regularly. Not just, oh, I firewalked, tick that one off the list, let's go on to the next thing. It's such an uplifting thing. I had a woman come to the fire dance that we did for International Women's Day. So we were literally dancing out the fire. Everyone walked maybe 30 or 40 times. And there was one woman there that's been single for a while. And for weeks afterwards, people thought she'd had a bit of rumpy-pumpy, because she was just high on the wine of life from it. And I think that's part of what these things do for you. They just open up those possibilities. They put a spring in your step and they make you much more able to say yes to the things that normally you would go, I'm not sure if I can.
When did all of this happen? When did it start rolling? Because the beginning is always, touch and feel. Oh, is it going to work with this? Oh, should I do this? Did you start with one thing, all of the things?
So I started with mountain treks, actually, and I still do mountain treks. So this coming up next year, we're running another mountain trek in the Atlas Mountains. And we do that for a group of women to stand the rooftop of North Africa for International Women's Day. So I started with that. And how I actually started is I lived in Burkina Faso in West Africa in 2010 and came back and with some friends started a charity, and I project managed a Kilimanjaro trek for that. But because we were a new charity, did it very differently from normal charities. You pay your money, you turn up at the airport, you go. But we were looking to build a tribe of supporters, that would have longevity to support the charity going forward. And so did it in a slightly different way, bringing people together beforehand. And I witnessed the absolutely transformational effect that had on people. Absolutely. I would still consider them my Kili family, And so I wanted to start creating that in other people. So I started doing treks in the Atlas Mountains in Morocco. As I say, groups of women standing at the rooftop of North Africa for International Women's Day. And I saw the difference it made to people going out of their comfort zone in those supported groups at the same time. And so from that, I went on to train as a Firewalk Instructor. And when you do that, you also qualify to do glass walking, arrow snapping with the throat, wooden board breaking, concrete slab breaking, rebar bending with the throat, and so on. And then because I was a Firewalk Instructor and the way I work quite spiritual, I was actually invited to go on a Sweat Lodge Keeper training course. So it's been a gradual thing since 2011.
And then it just was more by word of mouth that people got what you were doing? And did you have the name already, Mindset Metaphors, then? Or did it evolve and then it was just kind of like, I'm going to include coaching with this? Because like I asked before, when you're in such a high, where do you go after that? Did you like, okay, maybe I need to bring that in?
So I don't consider myself a coach anymore. So I used to coach. So this is what I was doing when I trained. I used to run an organization called Wish Women, so coaching and supporting women. And then about 18 months, 2 years ago, the firewalking, etc., had become such a big part of my business that I decided to step aside from the coaching and go into just the events and training. So I don't coach in the way most coaches coach, if that makes sense. So I still do follow up on people that come to events and retreats and so on, but you can't just book me as a coach anymore.
So you're booking rather as an event, team building or something like that?
Yeah, so we do professional team building, corporate days. I have big clients. The MOD are regular users of our training. The Law Society are about to come out, and some other really big hitting companies. I see the value in what we're offering, so that's great. So we put together packages that include looking at intuition, communication, values, alongside the other activities to really gives a massive return on investment for what their teams then go on to create. And then for myself, I run also my own events and retreats. So I run the retreats to the Atlas Mountain. I run my own firewalk. Sweat lodges, etc. So it's a great balance that I have. I get the best of both worlds, really. It's a lot of word of mouth, but also, I'm a blogger. I'm a networker. And I think all these things pay off. You build these relationships. People know. Most of the work I have on, they're not people that have contacted 5 different companies for a quote. They're people that have come to me because they want to work with me. And whether that's word of mouth or through building relationships through my blogging, etc., that's the way it all pans out.
That's amazing. Like when I'm talking to you, very excited and at the same time very grounded. So how do you, or how not you, because everyone's practice is their own.
Yes,
and
exactly.
It's always nice to listen to someone's practice because some things will resonate with you and some things not. And you can take a little bit here and there and make it your own or not. So how can you envision grounding adrenaline?
How do you ground adrenaline? That's a good question. So for me, it's about having confidence in my own decisions, speaking up and out about what I believe in, not following the crowd.
That's good. Yeah.
As a businesswoman, it's about not bigging myself up too much and making myself too important. So, for instance, I regularly have periods where I turn Wi-Fi and 4G off on my phone. I don't need emails coming through constantly. It's about using the adrenaline to fuel where I'm going as well. So keeping direction. If I know where I'm going, then when I get that adrenaline, whoosh, it's going to fuel me in the right direction.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
It's so true because I think everyone has it. They have those moments where they're so pumped up, like, I can do this. And when you have this, you have direction. And I know that like when you're going to speak and you're really pumped up and you're on the stage and and I often say to my clients that are also speaking and to myself, remember to ground yourself afterwards because you've given and you've expanded and given so much energy, you're going to have a crash afterwards. So it's best to go away into your cave and just recuperate first and then come back again. And it's not an easy thing because when you're on a high, the ego takes over and they're like, oh yeah, this is nice. I like this. You're in the limelight now. And you just come.
Firewalking is a great activity for people that are in ego because they will burn their feet. Simple as, cannot firewalk in ego.
That is brilliant. We're going to tweet that one. That is brilliant. You can't firewalk an ego. I love that.
You can't do
really
it.
Cool.
You have to. So as a firewalker, you learn to believe that you're freaking awesome because we're all freaking awesome. So that's believing that outside of ego. It's a challenge to do because when we start to believe we're awesome, it often saps us back into ego. But we don't have to be in our ego to believe that.
That is so true. The same with, I'm just going to refer to business here. It doesn't need to be perfect, the brand, in order to be a brand, which is what this is all about, is showing that you can also be big in your business and in your brand just by believing in what you're doing and your message and mastering that craft. And it gets big on its own in whichever way and in your circle and market.
Yeah.
But to keep going forward, pushing that adrenaline. Did you ever think you'd be here today? Did you ever envision like,
no.
oh, that's fun. Oh, love it. Where did you think you'd be today?
I don't know. Before I went to Africa, I was a social worker, and I thought, actually, when I came back, I had a job lined up in a cafe waitressing, and I thought that that's what I would do until I found something else.
Yeah.
And then I was back for a couple of weeks, and it was during the height of the recession here in the UK, and the cafe closed, and so I found myself without a job. I was like, oh, now what am I going to do? Not this. This was not what I thought at all.
Wow.
Some things are meant to be. I don't believe in coincidence.
Mm.
That's why I say to everybody, any opportunity that comes up, I would say this to business women or men, or whatever it is in life. If an opportunity comes up, it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
Whether it's just to teach you something and move on, thank you, or that lifelong thing that you've been waiting for, then you just never know. I can tell a funny story if we've got a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
I was in a park a few weeks ago with the lovely Jo Baldwin-Trott, who I'm doing some work with later in the year. We were taking a couple of selfies, right? We're taking selfies, and this guy just got chatting. And it turned out he was the guy that owned the facility we were in, a sports coaching organisation that's based all around the world. And from that, we were chatting about what we do, and he was like, "Oh, I've got to get you in to do some stuff at my venues." Okay, Hyde Park. Okay. So we got to Hyde Park to meet this guy, and we got talking about Morocco. And because I run the retreats in the mountains, we were talking about that. And he was saying he'd ridden his motorbike through Morocco. So one of my lifelong goals is to have a retreat centre in Morocco.
Oh, wow.
So this guy turns around and he says, a funny thing's just happened to me because I've been given some land by the Moroccan government to build a sports training facility. He's like, but I want to make it more than that. I want to make it kind of like a retreat centre or something like that. And although I've got the money to do it, I haven't really got the time to oversee the project. I was just like, hello.
Wow.
So who knows where that's going, right? It might just fizzle and be nothing, but don't be afraid to talk to strange men in parks. My mum told me never talk to strange men in parks, but actually seize those opportunities.
That is so true. He should meet my best friend. She's in property.
Okay.
Cool. What myths would you love to bust around firewalking, sweat lodges, bow breaking, arrow bow breaking, cement slab breaking, breaking?
There are lots of myths. There's a mythbuster actually you can fire up on YouTube about firewalking, which is quite interesting, about having to be in some hypnotic state about firewalking. I think for me, the myth that, maybe causes me frustration, I think, oh, come on, is, for people in business that I see maybe investing quite substantial amounts of money and more training, and they're not investing in themselves. And, I sit there and I look, I think, you know what? If you invested in yourself, your business would fly.
Yeah.
And so to me, I think that the myth, or what I would like to bust, is that it's a waste of money, or it's a jolly, or it's a circus trick, this kind of thing. It has profound impact in all areas of your life. And to me, to do that investment, which is often quite low, just to come to a sweat lodge or a firewalk or something like that, it propels people in business, propels people through their lives. I have one woman that she came to a vision board workshop with me initially in New Year, and then came to a Firewalk in March. And since then, all the stuff on her vision board is just go ping, 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 ping. Oh, look, I got the keys to my new house. I see on Facebook. And, oh, this is happening. Da, 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 da. Oh, I've got 5 more clients. And it just, these things make a difference. It's not a circus trick. It's there for a reason.
I love that. When you're in the region or close by, you have to let me know, because I think I'm ready for that.
I would love to.
And from what age are you allowed to do it?
Well, there's no legal requirement, so it's up to each individual Firewalk instructor. A lot of instructors that I know will only work with adults, but for myself, I work with children as well. I said that the child has to be able to sit or to listen, to engage with the instruction given. So that's different for each child, but around the age of 8, normally, I would say. A good age, because they have to be able to be a part of that event and listen how to do it safely and everything. me. But kids go wild for it, Sashka. I mean,
I
they
can imagine.
just are like, I would say between kind of 6 and 14, they're really able to click into their own intuition. They know whether they should walk or not. It doesn't matter what anybody else says or does. They know. And once they go, go, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back,
Oh,
forth,
wow.
over and over the fire. They are just for the experience. Yeah, they could teach us all a thing or two.
I wonder if my kids would do it with me. That would be pretty interesting. And I'd have to ask them. We'll organize it. We'll come and see you, or you come here, whatever, and we'll do something.
Yeah,
God, that'd be awesome.
anytime.
So, my lovely, we're coming to the end, and I
Okay.
ask all my guests at the end. There's 2 questions where I have my core values, and they're 3 words, and I'd like your interpretation where you fill in the blank of what these words mean for you. So, creativity for you is?
Going inside myself and seeing what comes out.
Oh, I like that. Wisdom for you is?
Keeping my mouth shut. Still working on that one.
Oh, that's brilliant. Passion for you is?
Something that I never want to lose.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. Now, how would you want to change the world or challenge the world doing what you do?
The world's in a bloody awful state. It is. And so to believe that we can create change is really, really hard. But, you know, I think the more people that connect with the elements, connect with their intuition, connect with their tribe of compassionate, powered up people, then I think I'm doing what I can.
I love that. Yeah, that's so true. Thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you.
And sharing your world with us. I'm really excited. I'm sure there are a few links of where you're going to be and your website that we'll add to the show notes.
Cool.
Find out more information about you as well. And for myself, I hope to be on one of these fire walks. I don't know so much about the sweating. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a fan of sweating.
One thing at a time.
Yeah, exactly. And it'd be nice to share it with my kids as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I hope to have you on the show again soon. I can imagine we will. And we'll be reporting back with all the exciting things of some people that have from here taken on a firewall.
Brilliant. Sounds good.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Sashka.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dang, that was just supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I enjoyed having you on board, and please do me and you a favor. Head on over to iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Click subscribe, and a super bonus, leave your review and you stand a chance of being announced and advertised on the show. I'm always striving to ensure that your brand is uplifted and empowered. Remember, done is better than perfect. So be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and send in your feedback too. You're the absolute best. Keep rocking.